All right, everybody, we are welcome. Very special episode to share with you today. So, our guest today is Brian Wang. He's found some clues that Tesla's Shanghai Megapack factory could actually be twice as big or more. Actually, today we're going to go through the clues that he's found. Brian Wang is got a YouTube channel called Next Big Future. Did I just call you Brian White?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Brian Wang.
that's okay. We look so
Uh,
similar. Yeah.
exactly. He's got his own YouTube channel called Next Big Future. Brian, this is a fantastic find. It's a big deal. So we know that Grace Tao,
How?
who's the vice president in Shanghai for Tesla, just announced in the social media accounts for Tesla just a few days ago that Shanghai Megapack factory is basically being built in lightning speed. It's at 60% completion. It's on track to be completed by beginning of next year, some sort of first quarter. And what you're saying today, though, is that you found clues and you believe that actually, contrary to what everybody's ever said or what Tesla themselves has said, that the Megapack factory itself that they're building in Shanghai is going to be twice as big as they've said, or twice as big as Lathrop. And this could be
Right.
massive. You've got tables and show us what
Yep.
this will mean that will
Right.
surprise everybody in terms of revenue and earnings.
Mhm.
So tell us what's going on here, Brian.
So in the background of this picture, we have another one with all the words on it. The one with the solar panels on top, I believe that's the main building. This is a rendering of what they're going to build. So they can build three buildings. Lathrop, California, Megapack Factory only has one building. And we see they at the 45% completion, they gave us an overview. Go to the next slide.
Yeah.
This is an overview of the construction. So you see they kind of flipped it left to right so that the what was in the rendering on the left and now on the right. So you
Mm-hmm.
see the main building, and then there's a 6-lane road, like the 3 lanes by 3 lanes, and there's
Right.
things on it. So I found objects on this picture in order for me to like, this is a car, a large truck, a ship
Yeah.
container, and I can estimate the rough size. Unfortunately, the resolution is not the best, so I can't kind of like narrow it down between like 600 and 700 feet wide and 1,350 to 1,600 feet long. So I have later pictures of Lathrop, but Lathrop is 373 feet wide and 1,150 feet long. So roughly double the lines that you could fit width-wise into this building. And then there's a building below. You can see that one. That one is about 300, 250 feet by 250 feet. Some other building don't have that in Lathrop. Lathrop only has one building. And then to the left of that small building, there's going to be another long building. Yeah,
Here.
in that area there. They will build another long building, but they haven't started that yet. So what we know now then is not a copy of Lathrop. Well, we know it. So they made it bigger, and that goes aligned with statements that Elon Musk made in Q1, I think, saying that energy could be double or triple the production in China. So it was, so he said that the China could be bigger, double, and then possibly triple. So the size of the buildings suggests that is the case. Just if I match the production in the floor area.
This is great.
Then,
yeah.
So then next slide.
Yeah, before we go there, first of all, thank you for sharing that because I think it's a big find. Right now, everybody thought that they're just copying Lathrop. Everybody's saying that, including Tesla. They've not actually said anything. And then I was having this conversation with Jeff Lutz, and he was saying, companies will often not just copy what they build. They're going to improve on it now that they've got experience with Lathrop. So it's unlikely they will just copy it. And two, when they go out to external communication, they don't want to oversell it necessarily sometimes. So they'll just kind of underplay it. But this is a great find. So you are estimating now that it's 2 to 3 times bigger than Lathrop. Here's, I guess, the rendering of what this is going to be looking like in the future. You said it's flipped, right? So, but it looks like it's all like, farmland. And you're saying that's not what they're actually doing, right?
Right. So the
here it is. Here it is.
Yeah, the other small building. Yeah.
That's a small building that they're building, and then it's going to be a larger structure here. I see. So it's right here in the render. Okay.
Right. So it's just like up, down, left, right. It kind of like turned around. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're going to make this other building there, and we don't know what those 2 other buildings are going to be.
Yeah.
Some speculation about admin building for the small one, and then the other one wild speculation might be related to more battery cells or something, or it could be, some kind of distribution holding thing instead of dumping the completed packs out into the elements and that kind of thing, right?
Could just be storage, sure.
Could just be storage, some kind.
Okay.
And then this is just to show that before they started construction, Wu Hua, one of the Tesla community out in Shanghai, was saying that it was about 2 miles away from Giga Shanghai. So I went looking for it on Google Maps, but I couldn't find it. So that is not, updating, it would only be a few months of construction. So you don't know where it is. Okay. And then,
but okay, so it's very close to Giga Shanghai.
Very close to Giga Shanghai. So this is Lathrop.
Yeah.
So Lathrop, I was able to Google Maps, and there's a precise scale. Like at this size, it's 100 feet is this long, and so we know this. It's 373 feet wide, 1,150 feet long, which aligns to the 440,000 square feet, 40,000 square meters that various other records show it to be. And then
Brian, somebody's asking, is Lathrop a single floor building?
There's sections of it that are multi-floor. Like you can see in the window, there's some stuff on the second floor there. But it's when they have a video showing the inside, like when they show construction stuff, the video they have of Lathrop, then a large part of it seems to be single story in that they have these big like railroad tracks on the roof kind of systems to move the big containers along, which seems to be like so multi-floor inside, because you need to have room to lift up a megapack, right, and then move it around. So, but I haven't been inside. I don't know like what sections have multiple stories. The other thing is that Tesla Shanghai in the rendering, it looks like it's taller in the rendering. But looking at the view on top of the actual building, we can't, of course, get any height on it. Gotcha. So we don't know how tall Megapack Shanghai is going to be.
Okay. All right. So this is Lathrop, 440,000 feet. Yeah. This is what you said earlier. This is what you see. Okay.
And then that they say it's 40 gigawatt hours per year of production, 10,000 packs. Yeah. Prices have come down from 2 million down to 1 million-ish on megapacks. So 10,000 packs is still $10 billion. So then if you have 80 gigawatt hours doubles production, 20,000 packs or 30,000 packs at $1 million a piece, that would be 20 billion or $30 billion. And so also I'm assuming going forward, they would build the larger factories of 80 or 120 gigawatt hours. So then you'd project on the top line, say we get 35 gigawatt hours this year, 90 gigawatt hours in 2025, 180 gigawatt hours in 2026, where basically 2026 then we'd have both current factories ramped, and then presumably you've started a third factory to do things. Wow. And then you have faster pace. And if you get like 3 factories going, so then the pace of growth will be faster.
Yeah. So it's not, it's more than exponential, because if it's going to be 10x by 2027 in 3 years, we're going to 10 times what we're able to do in this year.
Right.
That's crazy. It's amazing. But the prices could go down. That's what you're estimating as well. Yeah.
Right. I'm projecting that the price will go down, and that could be a sharp fall. But then, if the prices fall a lot, the demand would increase. Yeah. Several things increase in demand. One is the AI data centers, where you have to build a lot more power, and that would be power. A lot of it would be in Europe and North America, right? You're not going to build data centers in China for your AI data center, right? You can build it over here. So that means presumably there'd be less competition from any Chinese battery makers or battery storage makers. So that means more TAM, total addressable market for Tesla in the local area.
Let's jump down to the bottom here. This is the part that everybody wants to know. The additional share price, you're already calculating about $50 worth, but by 2027, in 3 years, it's going to be $400 worth. So the company, the stock right now is at $237. So in a couple of years, just in a couple of years, 26, we're already, we're basically in 2025 now. By just next year, the end of next year, it's already the whole company's price.
Right.
Is that what you're saying? Like the company will be this is $700 billion worth?
Well, no. Well, yeah, that's $700 billion worth of value, because I'm saying that in 2026, I'm saying $30 billion of net revenue from energy, right?
Yeah.
30 billion, that's in the middle row there, $30 billion, right? And then if profit gets to 36%, right? And this was some earlier calculations from Larry Goldberg talking about extra things, which maybe he dialed that back. But if what did get to 36 because of efficiency, scale, all that wonderful stuff, then we could see just shy of $14 billion in profit in 2026. So then if you do I think 60p multiples what I have here, then because the growth is so fast, right?
Yeah.
Because growth is now far better, then I'm saying that 60p times it'd be $830 billion. So that would be the $237 per share. So because we're at about $800 billion of value now. So
wow.
yeah, but so then if the that 180 is like, why wouldn't both these factories be ramped and then have another factory? So then you would have that 80, 120 plus 60, 180 seems very doable based on the larger size of factories now.
Oh, wait. So by 2026, you're expecting another factory announced? That's
right. 2025, you'd announce a factory and then you build another
for 2026.
Right.
And it can be done sooner. It could 8 months. Right. Yeah.
8 months. Yeah. Or that you have that they were sandbagging the 40 and 80 gigawatt hours. You can get to 120 and 60. Then you'd also get to 180 by having a bit more production out of each factory. Yeah.
This is huge. Yeah. Right. So first, what you've discovered is that Giga Shanghai, here, we're going to go back to this, is 2 to 3 times bigger than Lathrop. Yeah. And nobody has talked about it quite now. It could be 3 times bigger. What's your estimate? Is it 2 times or is it could be 3 times? Or are you saying
3 times
only
with
if these 2 buildings?
Yeah, extra 2 buildings.
If these 2 buildings are part of it, but it's unlikely, right? Because they're separated. Why would they be separated from the main building?
Well, my theory is that one, it's longer. So 700 feet by 1,600 feet would have floor area that's triple. But what were you doing with it? This whole thing is longer. That basically the one with the solar panels is longer.
Oh,
that's also longer. But the one with solar panels, the main building is longer. Like Lathrop is not only thinner, it is shorter than this building. So not as wide and also shorter. So I'm not sure how the extra length translates to additional production capacity. Like the fact that you made it longer, like made it 500 feet longer, 400 feet longer, right? What are you doing in that extra length? I'm not sure. Like, does that mean you can make more stuff? I'm not sure what that means, right? And also like efficiency, if you redid the efficiency, maybe you can get 3 times the production. Again, something that Elon offhandedly mentioned, although we know how to refer to it, that if you reconfigure the inside, maybe things move fast. It's like Tesla Shanghai for cars, Giga Shanghai. They can do a car every 30 seconds. The other factories, Fremont, I think of the car every 45 seconds, the car every 50 seconds. Not quite as good. Even though, it's a more of a layout efficiency thing, which I'm saying that they redid this inside. That it again, so that goes to that argument. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's go back to your tables here and explain more about what we're looking at. So you're saying that Shanghai gigawatt hours, the megapack factory there, in addition to Lathrop, could now get you maybe to 90 gigawatt hours installed by 2025, 180. This is the share price. You think it's going to be equivalent to $237 by 2020, just on energy alone, which is basically where we're at right now. And then so you're saying that this is the goal, right? This is the goal that Tesla has stated for themselves?
No, that wasn't the goal, but this is a conversion of the using of megapacks based on energy needed. So a 10 gigawatt hours, one, is just a unit, but 2, it's going to be how much wind power will be in North Dakota. North Dakota has 4 gigawatts. They're going to have 10 gigawatts. They're going to add 6 more. They're building it right now. and that generates 30 terawatt hours per year. So 30 terawatt hours per year, you're basically using the 10,000. You use 10,000 megapacks in order to store that power for 4 hours. Everything you generate in a day, you're storing it for 4 hours, and then every 20 years, you're going to replace it. And then, so this is more of the demand side of the thing.
Yeah.
If you get to 1,000 gigawatts at 1 terawatt, that would be 3,000 terawatt hours per year, which, just so people know, the US has generated just over 4,000 terawatt hours of electricity every year for the past 30 years. But they're going to start increasing that number. And there are projections of like all the AI data centers, they're talking about these kind of like 3,000, 9,000 terawatt hours per year by 2030, which is 6 years away. So again, to buffer, assuming that this was all solar and wind and other things, you wanted to use megapacks to make that power more usable at night, other things. Yeah. You would need 1 million megapacks, and that's 160,000 per year, which is 8 large factories making 20,000 megapacks per year. So I'm just saying that, for the 2030 scenario where I'm saying, hey, we're going to go to 720 gigawatts, basically it's
the demand is so big that you could actually build 8 of the Shanghai Megapack factory, which is twice as large as Lathrop, and sell this as much as you want from your estimation here.
Right.
So that would blow away this, because here you've only got, like, how many is this? 4? Like, so you got 2, you think 2 by here, 3 here, 4 here, 5 here by this point?
Yeah, I'm looking at this is roughly the 8 or so that I'm talking about.
Okay, this is 8. Yeah. By this point, you have 8 going on. Okay. Right. Boy, by that point, we would be just on energy alone 3 times where we are today by 2028. Right. Just 3 times the size of the company today, just on energy alone. Forget robotaxi and pod and all that, just energy alone. I mean, that's the part I think people don't forget, is that even if auto sales fall, even if robotaxi never happens, even if bots don't happen until 2040, energy is going to happen. This one is like, you can almost bank on this because of data center need, AI data center needs. So this is massive. Okay. Yep. This is huge.
Yes.
Okay.
Next slide. So master plan part 3 said $10 million per gigawatt hour per year for megapack factory. So that means Lathrop cost about $400 million, and Shanghai, assuming those cost estimates were correct, $800 million to $1.2 billion on the cost.
What do you mean by cost? On this is how much it costs Tesla to build this factories?
Build the factory, right? Because in master plan part 3, they said every gigawatt hour per year of megapack factory, they estimated $10 million of capex to build that. Okay. And so just a ballpark estimate how much the factories cost. So basically, for how much revenue they're going to make, like each of them would be, like, Lathrop could be making $10 billion per year, fully ramped up. Shanghai could be making $20 billion per year. So then the cost is like very, very tiny, because your return on capital could be like
20
times. A few months after operation.
You're saying it only costs, let's say, $1 billion to build a Shanghai Megapack factory, but you're saying that your estimate is that it's going to generate $20 billion of revenue per year.
Right.
So if you're saying that since it only costs you $1 billion per factory and you can get back $20 billion, why not just keep building as many of these as possible?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
And then with that other thing about the production thing that was going before, kind of repeated the last one. You can go to the next one. Yeah. So this was actual energy deployments, historical. So we had the last quarter, which was really good, the 9.4 gigawatt hours in that last quarter. And then we don't know how it's going to, but it's basically that exponential move up was happening over time. So
and this is Tesla getting into the Megapack factory business. They started Lathrop. They started to sell it to customers, and then it's starting to ramp up here. But we're only at 9 gigawatt hours. That's all it is at this point. Eventually, it's going to get to 40, and eventually, it's going to get to 80 and 120, like you've got mapped out.
Right. The first 2-3 years is only Powerwall and solar.
Yeah, this is by quarter, by the way. So if I add up 4 of them, you're at 4. Yeah, so 4 times 3 is 12 plus 9. You're at 20 gigawatt hours sold in a year. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Next. So one of the things that, sorry that's so small, there was Tesla talking about the Q3 consensus. So the main point of the top row, which is tough to read, is that 2024, the analysts were expecting 1.781 million cars delivered in 2024. And then 2025, they're expecting 2.0 million cars in 2025. And then 2026, they're expecting 2.38 million cars. And then finally, 2027, they get to 2.8 million cars.
Yeah.
So they're saying that the extra capacity, we know Tesla, Shanghai, and Texas, Berlin, if you operated all shifts, all lines, you could do 3 million cars. So the consensus analysts, all these 30 analysts are saying that won't happen until past 2027.
Right.
And they're expecting only 200,000 cars of growth next year and only a total of 500,000 from this year by 2026. But
right.
the extra $10 billion is 250,000 cars, right? If each car costs $40,000, then 250,000 cars is $10 billion, which from the extra size of Shanghai could come into play in 2025, definitely by 2026. You would have the extra, going from 40 to 80 gigawatt hours in Shanghai. So then the growth, the analysts are missing. They don't even talk about the energy thing in here, but it's a significant share of cars. It's like I discovered a new Fremont factory. It's like that much how much it is.
Yeah. The value of the energy is now eventually by the next several years is going to be rivaling the value of cars, and they're not yet expecting it. They're not even thinking about it. Yep.
Right.
It's $10 billion is equivalent to 250 cars, 250,000 cars. And that's what they're doing. So it's almost doubling it. And you're expecting that it's going to be, 12 billion, 22 billion, 330 billion per year.
Right. So, as these factories come online and ramp up fully. So fully ramped, Lathrop is 12 billion, half ramped Shanghai, 22 billion, another 10.
Gotcha.
And then 32 billion, another 20 from a fully ramped full size Shanghai. Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay. By the time that Shanghai and Lathrop are fully ramped, you're going to be getting $32 billion per year from those two. And if each 10 billion is equivalent to 250,000 cars, just those two megapack factories equivalent to 750,000 cars, which is
right.
that's the equivalence.
Almost all the growth they expect from now till 2027 would be from those cars. Yeah.
Just from
these the energy. Yeah.
On already factories that are Shanghai's almost built. Okay.
Right.
So what's this?
So this was just looking at the financial statements. So cars in Q2 was just shy of $20 billion. Energy was $3 billion. Yeah. So that was the top line. So 2023 and then Q4 in the pink was just shy of the 20 billion because we've been mostly flat for the last 5 quarters.
Yeah.
And then energy in
energy?
2 quarters ago, the second line. Yeah. It was, 1.4, 1.5 billion ish with just later with only half of it ramped.
Right.
And then it jumped to 3 billion in 1 quarter, $12 billion per year. It's about 12% of the total because for all 4 quarters, we're looking at $100 billion for all revenue. So then if you get 12 billion, that's 12%. And then
so we're already 12%. The energy represents 12% of Tesla's revenue. Already. Yeah. Already. That's significant. Right. Okay.
And then if you get up to say 7.5 billion, which is $30 billion for a year, 7.5 billion per quarter, then you're in that 25 to 33% range, depending upon if you're comparing against total revenue or
when
against,
is this? What year?
I'm saying 2026, 2027. Yeah, 2026.
So 2026, by 2026, energy is going to represent 30% of Tesla's revenue by that point.
Right. Well, and this is not talking about FSD.
New factories. Yeah.
And other things happen. Right. But, roughly compared to what we had before. Yeah.
Yeah, because we got two new affordable cars. You've got
Right. Right.
robotaxi being released. So by 2026, that revenue can go up. So,
Yeah.
but this is the cool thing. It's like you're also just saying that there's only two megapack factories by 2026, which we can
Yeah.
almost bank on at this point because Shanghai's already 60% complete. And
Right.
so, yeah, I thank you for doing this. I mean, it's great to actually have just come in a scale, putting
Right.
everything in scale. And this is, how accurate or are you being conservative? Are you being too bullish? Are you being just pie in the sky optimistic, or where do you think you're falling here?
Well, the optimism part is I'm assuming that energy prices don't keep crashing down, because we did go from like 2 point some billion down to 2 point some million per megapack down to 1 million, right? So if we drop from 1 million down to 500,000 for each megapack, right, then you know then you have to have double the production in order to get to the same number, right? In the master plan part 3, they projected not going below about 750K per megapack, in some numbers that they're looking out to 2040. But I think we were all surprised how quickly the megapack prices fell. So that
Right.
can factor in. So then if that happens, then factors are reduced. But then I believe other forms of energy, natural gas, other things, will not be falling that fast. So then supply demand, if you drop prices for solar and battery that much, then you're going to build so much more of it, especially with the huge demand from AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but timing wise, it would affect, you'd have to rapidly build a lot more factories in order to then get the volume up on those things. But I think I've been relatively conservative in terms of like, assuming that there'll still be price drops, assuming that it takes a couple of years to ramp the China factory, which could be completed by January of the coming year, and then how quickly can you get stuff out of that factory? And then
we know they're fast. The Shanghai speed is fast. So, but you've been like saying, it's going to take a couple of years for them to ramp, but they can be ramped in a year. Yeah,
right.
Faster
They can be
than
ramped in a year.
Lathrop did. Yeah.
Right, because the ramping factor of revenue recognition on the megapacks is after you build it, you don't recognize it. You have to send it to wherever it's gonna go. Then you have to install it and then connect it and power it on.
Yeah.
But the reason it can be so much faster in China is that they build so much faster. They can install a megapack so much faster. So if they send it up the river or on a train to Mongolia, and then they get there in 2 weeks, and then they had the pad ready to go, and they lift it on, turn it on. It could be turned on in a month, and they could say, okay, now it's making money. Versus in the United States, PG&E could say, okay, well, it's come. I'm going to stick it here beside it. I'm going to wait 6 months, and then I'm going to connect it and turn it on, and then be a year down the road. So the slowness of Europe and North America to install these things, the fast construction in China would be to the benefit of megapack revenue recognition. And also the fact that they have a terawatt hour. Oops. Sorry. They have a terawatt hour of solar and wind or more. I think like 2 terawatt hours of that with not with energy storage. So there's a bunch of existing solar and wind that China needs to
store. They need batteries even more. Just
right.
Their solar already skyrocketed. They need these batteries more. AI data centers are just ballooning everywhere. $1 trillion being spent on that. They need the batteries even more. So this energy, the demand for this is just through the roof. It's
Right.
fast with them. So what do you think Tesla's going to do? You're almost guaranteeing, I think I am, you are, that there's going to be at least one more megapack factory announced. Sometime next year. They'll say they're going to build one for the following year, but maybe they might do 2. Right. They might start doing more. This could be the thing that they would invest in more, because you've just showed this is much more lucrative in some ways than these cars.
Right. And so I think that they will go faster. I would be very surprised if over the course of 2025, we don't hear 2 factories announced. Also, the issue of multiple factories announced is that these things are super heavy. They're like 40 tons, 50 tons, or whatever.
They need to be local.
local.
You
right?
can't transfer this through trailers or anything like that. You need to build a factory where it's needed. Mm-hmm.
Right. So then a Europe factory, we don't have a Europe factory yet. And then other parts of Asia also have a high impact. So that could be an India factory.
Every country. I think so. I still suspect, like everybody did. Remember a couple of years ago, he went and shook hands with every single dignitary in Europe or around the world. And then when you lay down who he met with, it was 9 of the top 10 largest economies in the world. The only one was Japan that he didn't visit and shake hands with. And I think that's because they all want megapack factories locally that they need in their country. So,
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian. That was fantastic that you uncovered this. So basically what we covered today is Tesla's megapack factory in Shanghai is being built as twice as big as the Lathrop factory. It's going to be 2 to 3 times bigger if you add up this area here and this area here. But this building alone is already 2 times bigger than Lathrop. Brian did the calculations. And if that's the case, this is the rendering of the Shanghai. It includes a couple more buildings, but this building alone is already 2 times bigger. It's very close to Giga Shanghai. It's within 2 miles of that. And this is the Lathrop factory, as you're showing the comparison of the sizes, but this is the killer slide here. You're basically saying if the product, and I think you were conservative of how many gigawatt hours, Lathrop should be able to do 40, just one factory. And if Shanghai is twice as big, that should be able to do 80. But you're saying by 2025, they're not all ramped up yet. And then maybe there's an additional one that's starting. But by 90 gigawatt hours, the share price, just that energy alone is $120. 2026 is 240, just that alone. And so this growth is exponential because here you're going 360 gigawatt hours is 10 times what we did today, this year.
Right.
In just 3 years, we'll be 10 times the size we are today. So thank you for doing that work. Appreciate this.
Thank you. Great to be able to share it. Exciting news.
No, this is big news, and I think you were conservative, and I think this is fairly close. I don't know anybody who's countering and saying this is too pie in the sky. I appreciate this kind of work. Brian, check him out. You can see this. He does deep dive analysis. Next Big Future on YouTube channel, and follow him on X as well, Brian Wang. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.